Here I am, hey! So in my last art of fiction video, I discussed scene and exposition and how we as writers have to choose between the two as we're writing. And I actually ran into that very problem myself recently. I couldn't decide whether I needed to scenerize this meeting that was taking place in a church or whether I should just summarize it. At first, I thought it was a problem of deciding whether or not summarizing the material would allow me to be funny enough, because I knew if I let the various congruents speak up, I'd be able to make up some very funny lines for them. Things that they thought were serious, but to the reader would come off as hilariously ironic. In fact, by doing this, that is, by allowing myself to dramatize the meeting, it would also allow me to tackle head-on some of the issues that are raised implicitly throughout the novel. But at the same time, it seemed like I was getting bogged down into those issues at an inappropriate moment. Point is, dramatizing the material didn't feel right, so I decided to summarize the bulk of the meeting. Unfortunately, after I did that, something still felt off. Sure, I found a way to add some humor, but something was still missing. And that's when I realized something. In the first several chapters of the novel, my protagonist Adam is the central focus. We're watching him move about. We're watching his thoughts. Basically, it's like we're holding his hand as he goes throughout his day. But in the meeting, he suddenly, whoosh, disappears. It's like he takes a back seat in the novel, just as he's at the back of the church during the scene. So it suddenly occurred to me what the problem was. I'd lost track of my main character. I'd gotten so bogged down by whether or not I should deliver the meeting as a scene or a summary that I forgot the bigger issue. I need to make sure Adam is involved. Because if he's just at the back of the church, twiddling his thumbs, then it really doesn't matter which way I present the material, because it won't fit the rest of the novel. At the very least, I need to see the scene through Adam's eyes to get his perspective on what's happening. In other words, I've got a lot of work to do. But I guess what I'm saying for the rest of you all is, don't lose track of your protagonist. Make sure you know what he's up to at all times. And make sure your readers know as well. Because if you got your readers walking around with someone for a long time, and suddenly they look around and that person's disappeared, well, then your readers aren't going to feel like the character is lost, but that they are. That's it. Now go write.